run. We are the shadow you can't. I will never stop. We will hunt you. You will never catch me. You will not stop. You will make me. We are everywhere. You will fail. You will break. You are my challenge. You are our enemy. You are our target. You are my rival.
The Need for Speed series has had a bit of a resurgence over the last few years with Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted, and Shift titles. With its newest entry, Rivals, it dips back into the realm of Hot Pursuit as cops and racers clash in an expansive, constantly changing Redview County. With a bold new direction on multiplayer, is Rivals the best Need for Speed yet, or does it mingle in mediocrity with titles like The Run? The first thing you'll notice with Rivals' usage of the Frostbite 3 engine is that overall it is easily the best looking racing game currently on the market. While the individual car models don't have the same level of detail as Forza 5, that detail is hard to actively notice as you're zipping around snowy peaks, arid deserts, or lush forests at 200 plus miles an hour. With dynamic weather effects, time of day, and an abundance of leaves and dust constantly blowing into your vision, it's almost hard not to be overwhelmed by the on-screen activity. In fact, Redview County's geography is almost identical to the 2010 Hot Pursuit Seacrest County in scope and variety. If you've played both, it'll feel oddly familiar. As with Hot Pursuit, you'll have access to both racer and cop campaigns from the get-go, and roughly 30 high-end and current cars to choose from between both campaigns as you progress. Rivals is all about style. The sense of speed is ludicrous, the brake lights are about 3 times brighter than they should be, and cars are constantly perspiring with beads of water regardless if it's currently raining or not. While some of it is a bit goofy, everything looks pretty sharp and certainly pops. Rivals maintains the innovative autolog system that allowed you to constantly compete with friends, whether you're playing with them or not, and attempts to take it one step further by allowing the entire campaign to take place with up to 5 other people seamlessly driving around together in Redview County at the same time. While initially this seems like a great idea, it's poorly executed and robs any sense of structure to the game whatsoever. As there always has to be cops and racers on the road in a persistent world for 6 people, whether you're offline or online, you can't pause the game, and every event loses its identity. For example, as a racer, normally a Hot Pursuit and a race are entirely different, with a race being just what it sounds like, and the Hot Pursuit event simply introduces a police chase to this activity. But in Rivals, you can begin a race just to pass by a cop or already have a high wanted level, and more often than not, it quickly becomes a Hot Pursuit. The same goes with time trials and interceptor events, which are normally a one-on-one cat-and-mouse game type. So when playing as a racer, whether you're roaming the world or completing a checklist to progress through the campaign, expect to constantly be running from the police, and as a cop, just look for racers to run into and wreck for the entirety of the campaign. Of the two, the racer campaign with its risk-reward money-banking multiplier system is slightly more fun to play. As you're out longer, your multiplier increases. If you wreck or are busted by the police, you lose it all.
Dispatch, show pursuit is closed. We have our suspect. Confirmation on...
Intervening in the events of other racers can be mildly entertaining and absolutely game-breaking if doing so from the Overwatch feature, but organizing races and police chases with your buddies is a chore and lacks any focus. A lot of this can be forgiven as you're power sliding around corners or causing an opponent to fly off a cliff with your shockwave upgrade, but losing an event like this due to annoying and unacceptable bugs is another thing. If you're used to playing racing games and being able to typically see where you're going and what's in front of you, you might have to lower your expectations a bit with this one. The camera will all too frequently begin to randomly spin around your car, looking every way but forward for a few seconds, or the in-game map might automatically pop up and cover your screen, removing your vision and possibly costing you the gold from time to time. Occasionally there's also visual glitches with background textures loading in with strange neon colors, and your car might become stuck outside of the map somewhere, forcing you back to the title screen. All that being said, when everything is working, it can be an adrenaline-filled blast to play, but don't expect a ton of variety, and the soundtrack and story are pretty forgettable, if not hardly worth mentioning. This isn't a great Need for Speed title. It could use more open locales, more distinct game modes, and more time ironing out bugs, but it's still an entertaining, mildly challenging, high-octane title that tried something new and misshot it a bit. At least it doesn't constantly insult its user base with attempts of force-feeding microtransactions down their throat.